Thomas, it's up for grabs now.
Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira.
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it. Well done.
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
Good evening, everybody. A very warm welcome to a very happy Arsenal panel. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving us your time and watching our show. I'd like to start off the show as I've been doing for the past few weeks, and I just want to send my thoughts and prayers to everybody in Iran who is just going through a difficult time and lost loved ones, and also wish good luck to a Brighton player who I'm not going to attempt to pronounce his name, who's had to retire because of heart condition. That
there you go.
Because of a heart condition. So all the best to him. And judges, the governor, how are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. Listen, following the Arsenal couldn't be better at this moment in time. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
It's not only winning football, it's really, really enjoyable to watch. I have to say, yesterday's game was sensational. I thought it had everything. It was a fantastic game of football. Credit to both teams. As I was saying earlier on, beating Spurs is special. It'll always be the one, but yesterday was a statement win and a fantastic win as well. And I really, really enjoyed the whole day. But I'm going to say that I was exhausted after that game finished. I was exhausted. It had everything, didn't it? It had everything. Fantastic.
I can imagine. Very good. So you're a happy gunner now.
I'm a happy gooner.
Very good.
You were about to say I've always been one.
I know. He has to remind himself.
I've always been. I'm a happy-go-lucky person, but never always been a happy gooner. There you go.
Fair enough. Mr. Canton, how are you?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. It's buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. I'm looking forward to not seeing some people in the chat box this evening. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. It's a good time to be an Arsenal fan, definitely. Lev, my son, how are you?
Your son?
Yes.
Spreading malicious rumours. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having me here as usual. Thanks for these two being here. Add a little bit of consistency to the panel, and better than your negativity, which has obviously started to diminish as you're now wearing a shirt. I can't even believe it.
I have worn the shirt before. I'll have you know.
Yeah, when was that?
Yeah,
when?
I wore it after.
You even have to think about it.
You wore it last week. I think you wore it last week as well.
No, did I? I
think
know.
so.
No, I didn't wear it last week.
No, I didn't. He only wears it when we're doing all right. And next thing we'll see is a name on the back, but not yet. Not yet.
No.
I think the fourth is going to be Odegaard's got to be on the back of that shirt. We've got to find a fourth.
No, there's no chance that's happening. Listen, just before we start the show, Mo is obviously not with us this week. He's still doing his charity work. He's doing, I think, a rickshaw challenge in Pakistan, and I've put the link to his fundraiser. So please go and donate that. I'm going to put it on a description to the show as well, so you can help him out after. And just before we get into everything, Mo and Tom, you still feeling confident about facing Iran in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Drops it in every show
I've got to check. I've got to check. Lee, there's not a lot that can be said about yesterday's game apart from a phenomenal performance and a result. And it was a lot of people, including myself, we thought we're going to win, although I predicted the 2-2, but that was just to actually catch up with the guys.
We didn't think he was going to win it, did you?
I did say we need to, but I didn't think we'll win it in the way we did. Obviously, Liverpool were not great, but we were fantastic.
Yeah, I think there's lots to talk about. First of all, listen, I've had my doubts about the manager. I'm going to be honest. I think for last season, I just let everything slide. I thought we'd give him a chance, see what it was, see how it was going. I realised it was a young squad. Never really criticised him at all last season, but kept me powder dry. And I basically, like, a few of my mates were turning around at me and saying, "Look, wait till next season, see what goes on next season. And I said, right, yeah, okay, let's go to this season. He's been magnificent. His tactical battle yesterday with one of the best. He come out on top. People ready to jump on him yesterday for the Tomiyasu going at left back. Masterstroke, absolute masterstroke. He was absolutely fantastic, Tomiyasu. You know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. And I'll tell you what, he's got a real problem there about trying to get old Tommy into the side because he was absolutely superb yesterday. Little bit of a problem with Gabriel again, another mistake for him for the goal. But in all, I think that you're going to have to swallow that with him because I think that he makes up some other good things that he's all. I think you're going to have to accept that he's going to be the odd mistake. Listen, players make mistakes, by the way, all the time. Some get away with it, some don't. He seems to make a mistake and he don't get away with it. But and then you just go to that front three. And this is my biggest two things, two little gripes I've got at this moment in time. I've heard fans, our own supporters, going that Foden is better than Saka. Spurs players are better than Saka.
Yeah, I've seen
you know what I mean? Like, give this kid the respect that he deserves. He's our star boy, and people will want to put him down and all that. Like, I'm not having it. I'll big him up as much as I possibly can. But when it mattered yesterday, the boy come good, and that's fantastic. And what I'm really, really happy about that. Like, you know,
it says a lot about his mental strength as well, taking that penalty, Lee.
There's people, you know what I mean, didn't think he'd finish it, like, you know what I mean, was probably thinking that he might miss that, like, you know. But like, he didn't, and it was a fantastic goal, a fantastic performance. The second goal, you know, him and Martinelli, by the way, was different class. But my other gripe is that when Ozil signed a massive contract, it was straight on to him all the time about how much he's on, how much he's doing, what he ain't doing. Then when Aubameyang does it, all the same, getting onto his back at 350 grand a week, ain't doing it. I have not heard one media outlet, TV, turn around and say about Mo Salah, who since he signed that contract of his, has not performed, but not one word has come out. They can't wait to dig at the Arsenal, but they're not prepared to do it for him, like, you know. Where was he yesterday when it mattered, like, you know, didn't show up. And listen, I know he's done the business before, yes, but so was Aubameyang before he signed that contract. He was different class as well. But since he signed that contract, he's down tools, but nothing's said. Why?
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Tom, I want to ask you this because you're more in the know, if you like, with some of the reports and some of the things. Nice.
Drinking and eating food and all that, like, you know.
Hey, it was nice. I tell you what, it was nice. It was nice.
What sandwiches did they have? That's what I want.
He's changed.
The irony was there was actually prawns, but they weren't sandwiches.
Did they have a sandwich?
No, it was a curry actually before the game. It was nice.
Chicken curry or beef?
It was a beef curry. Yeah, it was a beef curry.
Cutting edge journalism, this.
I know.
People don't want to know what goes inside the press.
I want to ask you about this Henderson business. What is that about? Because there is something there. I just want to cover that, and then I'll go to your thoughts about the game.
So both Jordan Henderson and Gabriel have been asked by the FA to present their side of the story of what's happened on the pitch. We don't obviously know what was said. There's been no quotes. No one said anything of what's been said publicly. So we can't comment on what was said. The instant, what it looks like is Henderson looks to have said something that has caused a reaction from Gabriel. Gabriel's then told Xhaka what he believes has been said, and then Xhaka has reacted as well. The referee's then gone over to Arteta and Klopp and informed them of what has been alleged. And then where we are right now is that, you know, as I say, both players have been asked to present their sides of the story. But there's, you know, it's impossible to have a discussion around it because there's no evidence on either side. There's nothing public that we know that's been said so far. We're just going to have to wait until...
What sort of things, Tom, need to be said in order for this process to kick in? I mean...
Well, I mean, if they deem if they believe there is enough evidence to suggest that, for example, something of a racial nature has been said, then I imagine that the FA will take action. That's not to say that something has been said of that nature, just as an example.
Yeah, I understand.
If that was something that was said, just like in the Luis Suarez case, all those years ago, they would then take action as they have done before. But they need to be able to prove, first of all, that's been said. That may be done through obviously the accounts of the players. If it was there, if the stories align, they might look on the cameras and see if they can see kind of through lip reading, stuff like that. But that's it's very difficult to prove this sort of thing if it is indeed anything of that nature.
Well, as we speak right now, we don't know what the nature.
We don't know as of right now. It's investigations going on. Yeah.
Cool. In terms of the game.
In terms of the game, it was glorious. In terms of the game, like as Lee said, it was before we kind of came on air. I love beating Spurs. There's, as an Arsenal fan, that is what you look toward in the season. You look at when we play Spurs because beating them is such a brilliant feeling. But there's something different about this game because it's a statement for Arsenal. It's tangible evidence of progress. It's a difference from years gone by. We haven't scored against Liverpool in ages, not just got a point. We haven't scored against the Liverpool sides in so long. And there was something so different about the way that we approached the game. There's something the way we, I think intimidated Liverpool. I think Liverpool would usually come into a game against Arsenal and play the way that they would want to play. Liverpool came into this game and then Klopp managed the game based around how Arsenal are right now. And that's kind of the real kind of tone of the difference between the two sides right now. There's irony around the whole idea of Klopp flirting and flattering Arsenal players in the media. A move from Arsenal to Liverpool is not a step up right now. It's not. It doesn't progress your career. That's where we're at right now, is that's the kind of position Arsenal have got themselves into, is that Arsenal, I feel, are on a par with Liverpool in this moment in time. I don't want to go as far as saying better after the back of one result, but the context of both teams, I think it's fair to say that they are on a par. And so it wouldn't necessarily be a step up. And that's a huge credit to the progress that's gone on in these last few years to take Arsenal to this level. But I'm sure we'll go into the final details of the game. But yeah, it was a glorious and genuinely emotional kind of result for me. It was a bit emotional after the game because we just feel as though there's been so much pain and division and frustration that seeing something like what we saw yesterday, it was, I think it's fair to say emotional.
Very good. Lev,
yes.
I need to read out a super chat from Wayne.
You always do this to me, don't you?
Big up the Arsenal Lounge. Not in the mood to disagree with you today. We're winning the league. Well, that is debatable. Thank you for your kind donation. And it's always nice when we don't we disagree on things, but today we're good because there's nothing to disagree about. I think we're all in agreement that
I think we'll find something
really good. Lev, am I right in saying
no.
There is some sort of a fear factor back with Arsenal where, at least at this present time, teams are looking at Arsenal thinking I don't want to go and play at Emirates right now.
100%. Why wouldn't there be? Played 9 games, won 8 of them. Should have won the one we lost as well. We were a better team in that game as well. Let's remind ourselves of that. I think this was a huge win. Yes, it's great to beat Spurs, but in the greater context of everything, I think that for a psychological side of things, yesterday's win was huge for this team. Huge, because as a young team, this team's developing together, and all they've experienced playing the likes of Liverpool over the years is a beating. Even when we've played well, we've lost. And 100%, the team of last season or the season before, even if we had gone a goal up, once they equalised, the old Arsenal would have capitulated. Liverpool would have taken over. And I think there was a mental battle with that team for a little while once we conceded, because Liverpool started to kind of get on top for about 10, 15 minutes after they scored. It was, they were dominating the possession, and we started dropping off deeper and deeper. But then that goal just before half time, and then the way we came out second half, and even though they scored, we were the team that went on to dominate that second half. We thoroughly deserved that win, in my opinion. Yes, okay, you could argue some of the penalties and the decisions were a bit contentious. The handball, I don't think was a handball; it was way too close. Is that penalty soft? Yeah, but in the letter of the law, the way it is right now, that's a penalty. There's no denying that, and we've seen penalties exactly the same go against Arsenal. So it's about time things have started going our way. But yeah, 100% teams are starting to take us seriously. You know, we've just beaten Spurs, we've beaten Liverpool. Why wouldn't that? You know, we're top of the table. Why wouldn't that make teams fear us now? And look at the way we're playing. We've got ridiculous pace on the wings. We, Martinelli, I will highlight Martinelli in particular. He destroyed Emerson Royale the week before against Spurs. Absolutely gave him a torrid time. He did the same with Trent, who played more like Terence Trent D'Arby rather than Trent Arnold. But he was awful. But that's because the fear in behind the pace that we have. And Odegaard, I know you've got your opinions on Odegaard, but he's an orchestrator, and when there's space and he's quick feet, I don't think you at times give him enough credit. Some of his football was brilliant yesterday, but look, we'll go into that in a bit. But yeah, I mean, of course they fear us, and so they should. We're a team in the ascendancy, and we're beating top teams now.
Very good.
Simple as that.
Listen, I agree with all three of you that it was a fantastic performance and a result. It's one of those results that you refer to as a statement result, where people take notice, people look at this, and this is, we all agree, this is a different Arsenal team, one that we have not experienced even towards the late side of Arsene Wenger's reign, that I even go that far back, which is credit to the manager, who's obviously done well so far. There's a couple of things from yesterday from me I'd like to point out. I mean, Odegaard, the pass that he did for the first goal was world class, I must admit.
You're smiling so much while you're saying that.
I'm sure you guys come from my case for the phone conversation that we had.
It was. Listen, I'm going to listen. The pass the assist for the first goal, honestly, I've criticized him before, and I have to give him credit when it's due. I thought it was a world-class pass, not a great pass, a world-class pass. A couple of other really good passes he made throughout the game as well. And the other point for me, and I really want to shout this out, the more I watch William Saliba, the more I feel this is too comfortable for him. Yesterday, Lee, I felt, and against Tottenham, I felt he was very at ease, comfortable. Everything was easy. He makes it look very easy. And I think this boy, I think we might have a top player on our hand, Lee. And if I was a hierarchy at Arsenal, I would go out and I'll make Edu's job dependent on him signing a contract.
Well, I don't know about that. Listen, a couple of things first. Odegaard was fantastic with his passing. He's got to improve on his finishing. Could have had the game wrapped up at one stage.
I agree with you on that, Lee.
How come if I said that, you all would be on my case? But when Lee says it, everyone's like,
wait. Sorry to interject, Lee. But before Lee can... Wait. One question before Lee carries on. What did you make of Odegaard's overall performance? Be honest.
It was good.
That's good. Just good. Okay. Sorry, Lee. Carry on.
No. I think listen, it's a very, very difficult position in there to play in that little pocket, because you've got to have good control. The decision making's got to be very, very quick. He does it very, very well. But I think that his weakness of his game is his finishing. He's got to improve on that. Now, when you look at someone like Vieira coming in, not the same level as Odegaard at the moment, but he's scoring goals. So there's pressure that's going to be put on him at some stage to take those chances, feel that he's got to take those chances. I also think with Saliba yesterday, I didn't think he was that great yesterday. I felt he got run off the back off the shoulder on a few occasions. Firmino for the goal, he wasn't tracking, or it might have been that one or the other one. Him and Gabriel have got a little few mistakes here. I'm going to sneeze, I think. Hold on a second. Am I not?
I like this anticipation. There you go.
Right. Let's start a bit like Odegaard. Will he or won't he? Will he only shoot? Will he won't he score? But no, I feel there was. I think with Saliba, I'm going to be really honest with that. I love him. He's great and all that. but he's 21 years of age. He's learning. He's still learning. It's not the finished article yet, like, you know. A couple of times they ran off the back of him yesterday, like, you know. That's
the
something
goal. The goalie, he got caught out on the goal. He moved. I think he moved to his. Did he go to his right or his left?
Yeah, and then he got cut. He got attracted to the ball a bit. Listen, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, Gabriel probably should have tracked it a little bit quicker than what he did. Now, my argument and my defence of him is, and this is even with Gabriel as well, I think you've got to accept that Gabriel's going to make a mistake along the line every now and then. He's got a mistake in him, but his overall game is fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, they're too physical, strong presence in their physicality. They've got pace, but I think where Saliba is quality is when you get that first goal. Look at the composure for a 21-year-old kid and he starts that move. That's not the first time that he started a move like that. When we've been on the back foot, he wins the ball, steps out, wins the ball, and then plays it. I think he's done it against Spurs. I think he's done it a couple of times. I think he's done it against Brentford, off the top of my head. 3 or 4 times he starts those moves. So he's very, very good, but there's improvement there, like, you know. And one of the biggest problems I've got with Arsenal, you know, are we going to challenge for the top 4? Are we going to, you know, challenge for the title? We've got to shore up our defence at home. We have not, at this moment in time, kept a clean sheet at home. You know what I mean? And I know, like, yesterday's not the game to think about it, but that is something that we've got to work on. So as well as Saliba and Gabriel are playing, I think that there's still work to be done. Do you know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can turn around and go, right, you know, if that was me, I'd be going, you're doing fantastically well, but this is where you can prove this. And I think that documentary was a good thing where they go on one-on-one. So they'd be saying that. They'd be showing those little highlights and that, like, they'd be picking out all the very, very good points and saying, this is great, because you've got to keep the confidence going. But we need to improve here, we need to improve there. And I think that's a good thing, like, you know. So all in all, I don't want to get carried away with their performances yesterday. There was good things in it, but there was weaknesses in it as well.
Canton, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I think Gabriel in particular is a player that I think is going to start being the new scapegoat, annoyingly, of this Arsenal team a bit amongst the family. It's annoying. We always need to have someone to point the finger at for some reason. The reason why Gabriel, you know, has got a bit more of a mistake in, and the reason why he gets exposed a little bit more is because, you know, Saliba is brilliant and Ben White has been brilliant this season. And both of them playing on that same side together. And the style of which Arsenal typically tend to use their left-sided fullback is that they play further forward. Now, that wasn't necessarily the case against Liverpool because Tomiyasu obviously came in. But most games this season, Gabriel's been alongside either Tierney or Zinchenko, who have pushed much further up the pitch. Whereas White and Saliba is a much more disciplined, reserved style. I know White does get forward and has actually been getting a lot better with going forward, especially I thought yesterday. But Gabriel has to cover a much larger area when he's defending than what Saliba does and what White does, because the left back in the Arsenal back four tends to push further forward, which opens up more space on the counter that Gabriel has to deal with. So he gets exposed more. So I'm not surprised he's coming under more pressure. He's still made more clearances than both Saliba and White and any other defender in the team so far this season. He's crucial in our in the box defending. You know, when we need to defend our box, Gabriel's great for that. He's a presence. He's physical. You know, he's intimidating. He is necessary. And I challenge anyone to go out and find a reasonable upgrade on him, a left-footed centre-back, a good age for not a stupid amount of money. Because the only way that you're going to find an upgrade on him is getting someone genuinely world-class, I think. He's not world-class yet. But if you're going to try and find someone better than Gabriel, you're going to have to go to that world-class market. And I'm fine with that because I think we should be ruthless in our squad building. But it's going to be a tough task to find someone better than him. But yeah, look. Go on, Lee.
No, and I'm just echoing your point there. It's a great point you make there. He's the one that presses in and defends. He's the one that, if you have a look at it, Saliba one steps back, goes in there. There are different defenders. One's more aggressive and got to get right in there with the central, and he does that really well, Gabriel. Like, you know what I mean. But that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean. Like, I think you know, people are going, "Oh, Gabriel's made a mistake again." He will make mistakes. That's part and parcel of what he does. But I think what he does at the other side, it makes up for it. Like, you know, even so, when I think it was against Fulham, he made the mistake. He's got a goal in him, like, you know. So I heard a few people turning around yesterday. I don't know if you've heard it as well. I don't know if it was on Twitter, but like in the pubs and all that. So, mate, because I think Tomiyasu played so well yesterday. They want to get Tomiyasu in the side, so they're sort of saying, "Well, put Tomiyasu at right back, put Ben White in the central defence," you know. And so I said, in place of who? They said, Gabriel's making a mistake in it. I think if you was to lose Gabriel, if he didn't play for a couple of games, I think you go, wow, we need Gabriel back, like, you know. So I think that he's one of those defense that's in your face a little bit, like, do you know what I mean?
We've been desperate for a player like him, Lee. Like we've had Koscielny and Vermaelen and Mustafi and Sakura. We've had players that that shriek away from challenges, that aren't intimidating. We've finally got this physical presence, and we're already talking about trying to get rid of it. It's just this constant need to criticize someone. And to be fair, even after the amazing result, there's been criticisms of, say, the first half. And there were parts of that first half that Liverpool was certainly the better side and were building more into the game than we were. Are we forgetting somehow who our opponent was yesterday? The idea of keeping a Liverpool side out, this Liverpool side, for the 90 minutes, whether you're home or away, is ludicrous. You got Salah and Diaz and Nunez. I thought it was Nunez's best game of the season, to be honest, actually.
The finishing was good as well, wasn't it?
Exactly. You got Jota. Thiago was world class, by the way, in that first half in particular. He was absolutely unreal.
Brilliant emotion,
and so the idea that Arsenal are supposed to dominate a Liverpool team for 90 minutes, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. And so there is going to be a period of play that Liverpool do work themselves. But it's how Arsenal deal with it. And you know what? We did concede, but we dealt with it still. We kept ourselves in the game. We got a hugely important goal on the counter in the second half. Before the second half. And then in the second half, we were brilliant. And we won that game deservedly. So if the idea is that you're expecting Arsenal to dominate Liverpool for 90 minutes, I'm sorry, but you need to get your head screwed on a bit tighter, because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. We've got a fair number of people are watching us. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe, obviously, to the Arsenal Live. Subscribe to the Gunner Talk TV and Lee Judges TV. Give everybody your time. Watch them. Guys do great content. And please don't forget, tell us where you're watching from. People in the chat right now. And obviously, if you're watching on a repeat, write us where in the world are you watching this show from. And again, thank you for being here. Lev, I left this topic to speak to you about because last season, I remember I was having a debate with you in one of the shows with Tom and Mo, and I said to you, there is no chance that Ramsdale is coming in to replace Leno. I think he's going to come in and slowly they're going to bring him in. And you said, no, I think Ramsdale is going to come to start as number one. And I was
about Saliba as well, by the way. Just for that. Go on. So go on, carry on.
Yeah, if I may. And then Ramsdale was coming, and he's just become number one since. Are we seeing the same thing with Zinchenko and Kieran Tierney?
In what sense? What, Zinchenko's taken Tierney's place?
Kieran Tierney is now down on Kieran Tierney effectively is not a starter as he was the previous season.
I don't think so.
Something that he gets moved on.
No, I don't think so. I think that's a total different situation.
How?
I think, well, it was quite simple, really, because Ramsdale was brought in because of his capability with distribution on the ball, as well as he was a good keeper. He was a good keeper, but Arteta wanted someone who could play out from the back. And we've already saw when he first joined us, he was a totally different goalkeeper to Leno. If you watch Leno, even at Fulham, it's chalk and cheese the way they are. I'm not saying Leno's not a good goalie, but Ramsdale just has more in the locker for the way Arteta wants to play. However, the Tierney situation with Zinchenko is a little different because although Zinchenko may be a better footballer, all round defensively, Tierney's a better defender. So I think they'll get as many games throughout the season than you think. He'll get more games than you think. He'll come in when you need someone to defend and hold the lead or keep out a winger. I was surprised initially when he went for Tomiyasu, but then I thought to myself, there's that crossfield ball. and it worked a treat, and you can't knock that. And it does show tactical astuteness from Arteta's point of view. But Tierney is the type of player that he'll want to fight for his place, and he'll do his utmost to win it back. So yes, Zinchenko does offer something, tucking in as a midfield in the midfield when needed, and he is a better all-round footballer. But I do think people are really sort of forgetting what Tierney can do, and there is also the case that they're probably being a little bit careful with him as well because of the injuries he's had. In the sense of, he played in the Europa, didn't he, on Thursday? So then maybe they just thought, you know what, let's not risk him on a Sunday as well. Tomiyasu looking sharp. Plus the height of Tomiyasu for that crossfield ball was brilliant. It was really, really useful to have. I think there's more to come from Tierney. I don't think his time with Arsenal is done at all.
So you think that there is something that
we want this level of competitiveness all around the field. You want people that will keep Partey on his toes. You want somebody else that will keep Jesus on his toes, Martinelli on his toes. Look at Man City's depth. They've got players that can keep each other on their toes, and if one isn't doing it, someone else will come and take your place. Right, and that's what we want all around the squad, and we need a bit more depth. So, no, I don't see Tierney going anywhere anytime soon.
Well, I think that Arsenal fans have got to realise, and it's not a criticism. This ain't, by the way, is that when we was winning leagues and we was like 2004, when Reyes, for instance, God bless his soul, come into the team, we weren't going, oh, where's he going to play? We've got Perez, we've got Freddie Ljungberg, we've got, when Wiltord come into the side, we've got Henry, we've got that. When you're a top side, you bring in players to compete because you have to, because the squad is rising and rising and rising. What I don't like about Arsenal at the minute is that, not say I don't like, it's the wrong word to use, but like, well, we're linked with a wide player. Oh, what's going to happen with Martinelli? Well, nothing's going to happen with Martinelli. Martinelli's going to be a top player. We've just got to accept that we're going to have like a competition all round. You know what I mean? Odegaard will have to pick up his game now because, Vieira's knocking on the door. You know what I mean? Vieira's actually knocking on his door and saying, do you know what? You need the performances. So what's that going to do? That's going to up his performance. Same as the wide players, same as the back. No one's at the moment. I don't care who plays left back. I really don't. If Tomiyasu plays left back now for the rest of the season, so be it. He's played absolutely outstandingly well. It's just about Arsenal getting results and producing performances at this moment in time. And I'm going to have to say, Ben White, we're probably looking at the beginning of the season under a lot of pressure. Do you imagine what that must have been like in training when that first day when he sees Saliba? He thought, oh no, my place is up for grabs here. Oh no, he's gone right. I'm going to play it right back, and I tell you what, I'm going to do my best. And look at. I thought that, by the way, was as good as right back performance I've seen from anybody on.
He's been playing well.
He defended really, really well, but more importantly, his runs and overlaps and all on the ball were really, really good. And I'll tell you what's saying about Ben White, which people don't turn around and say, like they do with Trent. They go, oh, he can't defend, can he? Oh, he can't do this and he can't do that. I think he's been fantastic. And I think he's got to give a lot of credit to the manager there. That not only these players can play in competition, that they can rotate as well. You have a look at all the front three. Jesus can pop up on the left. Saka can go into the middle. Martinelli can go down the middle. They've all got something different in their game. And if you look at that, that's something that you really, really need in a side. I think that game yesterday, Arsenal could have gone to a different system and it would have just clicked into. It's not like, oh, we've got to take someone out and all that. They can do it on the pitch with those same players. That's something special to have. So all credit to the manager, all credit to the players as well.
Shaheen, can I just add to that as well? Very quickly, if you looked at Liverpool, Man City over the last few years, they had a really good squad depth. Every player was happy to be there because they knew they would be challenging on all fronts, right? And they knew they would get their opportunity. I think Arteta's looking to do the same thing. You got to remember, we don't just have the Premier League. We now got the Europa. There's other tournaments as well here. FA Cup, whatever it's called now. It's Coca-Cola Cup or whatever it's called. I can't remember now. But look, end of the day, if you're a successful team, players are willing to be in that squad and fight for their place and won't leave. That's what I think. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is.
Tom, briefly, what's your thoughts on this left back issue? And just before I come to you, for Saka's goal, how terrible was Alexander-Arnold? All over the place.
Look, defensively, he's not good. Like, you know, that's just where he's at. I'll come on to the left back in a second. Yeah, I mean, defensively, Trent's not good. But I mean, there's a really good clip of Jurgen Klopp explaining what kind of Trent's role is, and it's a little bit similar to, you know, what we do with our left hand side when Zinchenko plays. We get exposed in behind on that left hand side because we play with more offense on that side. Yeah. I think that Liverpool actually kind of need more of a disciplined, reserved, left-sided fullback to kind of balance Trent Alexander-Arnold, or what would be smarter is actually probably play Trent in his best position, which for me is probably in central midfield. I think he'd be better placed in a central midfield, right-sided, probably number 8, kind of box-to-box role than a right-back role. I think there's too much defensive responsibility for that side, especially if you've got, say, Robertson or Tsimikas, who, again, they like going forwards. So either I think Liverpool need to play a more reserved left-sided fullback, or they need to move Trent into midfield, because otherwise they're going to get exposed as they keep on doing that. And so they need to work to his strengths, and that's how they would do that. But yeah, he's been caught out, and there's compilations going around on Twitter of the amount of times he's messed up defensively. So yeah, he was really poor. But also fair play to Gabriel for the nutmeg. By the way, with that cross, the presence of mind to nutmeg that through to Saka, and the cross of Martinelli itself is excellent. But left back, you know, I mean, before the game, we had our little chat, didn't we, in the WhatsApp group? I hate to be the guy that says I told you so, but he's done this before. He used him against Rafinha when we played Leeds. He used him against Kulusevski when we played Spurs. And it certainly wasn't the Spurs right-hand side where they battered us. It was Son and Kane working on the left against Cedric and Holding, which was, as I said in the chat, a mistake on Arteta's behalf. He should have started Tomiyasu on the right-hand side against Son that game. But he's used him in that left-back position before against inverted wingers. And as you said, and as Lee said at the start of the show, Salah's dropped off a cliff, but he was also invisible in yesterday's game because of Tomiyasu's influence. Yeah, Salah was nowhere, and he was completely pocketed by Tomiyasu, and that was such a good decision from the manager. Clive talked about this on the Arsenal Vision podcast, where he said basically our 5 best defenders at the club are Tomiyasu, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Partey. And we played with those 5 best defenders in front of our goalkeeper. And then we have our 5 best attackers in Ødegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, and I mean Granit Xhaka. You include him in because 2 goals, 3 assists so far this season. He's been brilliant. Yeah. So going forwards, we've got those 5 players that have been so good. And I think that split and that kind of the tactical side of things to just nullify the threat. You're not going to nullify it completely, and that's why they got 2 goals. Yeah. But if you can restrict them as much as you can to get 3, you're going to win the game as we did. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Salah got subbed off after, I think it was 60th or 65th minute, it shows how ineffective he was during the game. And there is a very good argument to say that it was down to Tomiyasu marking him out of the game. There is something that I want to talk to you guys about, but I think this will take probably the rest of the show to discuss it. So I'm just going to limit it down to a yes or no answer. So no explanation, just a yes or a no.
So something that will take a whole show to discuss. You want us to break it down to a yes or no.
If you're not happy, you cannot take part. Right. Are we title challengers? Lev. Today will be good. I'll need
not. I can't say no because the table says otherwise. So right now, yes, but I mean, I think
no explanation. Yes, yeah.
That's a bit of all right, go on.
Yeah, Tom.
No.
Lee.
If it wasn't for Man City and how strong they are, yeah, we definitely would be like, you know, if take them out of it, I think we'd have a real good chance of winning the league. Like
yes or no, judges.
Listen,
if Haaland gets injured, yes.
Let's get realistic about this, and you know, told you, Liverpool have got 90 points on 3 occasions, and haven't won it. And they actually lost only 1 game last season and haven't won it. We've won 8 out of 9 games at this moment in time. And we're only 1 point in front of them and only really 4 points in front of third. So that, you know, the consistency is going to be one of those things. Now, if Arsenal carry on playing as they are and keep that 11, they're a match for anybody. There's no two ways about it. It's not going to happen, though, guys. So I think we're definitely going to be the nearest challengers to them at this moment in time, because I after watching all these games, I think we are I've watched a lot of football. I've watched it. I think we're the second best team in the league at this moment. So not and by a long way, by I reckon as well. I think
Erling Haaland is the difference between us and City, I feel, right now.
Oh, look, listen, I'm going to tell you, I honestly think.
I
honestly think
the depth they have as well.
Yeah, they're definitely. I honestly think with Liverpool, right, that Jurgen Klopp has done so much, got 90 points, and then they've gone and signed Haaland, and I think it's deflated Liverpool. I think it's given them a big kick in the old ghoulies. You know what I mean? Like, what more can we do to get there? And they go and do that. I think it's not just that he's a fantastic player. I think it's a statement sign and all, and I think that it's mentally got to Liverpool a little bit. And Klopp, well, what more can Klopp do to get close to him? Like, he can't do no more than what he's done. It's, fantastic achievement for Liverpool. I honestly think now we're going to have a little bit of it. We're going to do really, really well and end up like, cursing Pep and bloody Man City as well. But listen, I'm just happy to be in with a challenge at this moment in time, and I think we will push it. But for me, this season is realistically getting to the top 4, and if we can do anything better than that, I'm going to be more than happy with it.
Perfect.
So the answer is no.
Shaheen, can I also add though, even when Liverpool weren't winning the league, if you're in the top 2 of this Premier League, the Premier League is the toughest league in the world, right? And even when Liverpool weren't winning the title, they were still winning Champions Leagues when City weren't winning it. So if you're up at that level, the chances of you winning trophies are far higher. So long may it continue. And it's a young team.
I was more or less after a yes or no, but it's always a pleasure.
Oh, so when Lee goes on to a rant, you don't say anything. When I say
this applies to all three of you. This applies to all 3 of you except Hanton.
I wish this was my answer. Yes, until we're not. That was a great answer.
Well, anyway, guys, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe to Arsenal Lounge, Lead Judges TV, Guna Talk, and let us know where you're watching from. People want to chat, and if you're watching on the replay. Following on from this title charge talk, we were doing a show, I think, last week that we discussed Arsenal fixtures, and we said Tottenham and Liverpool are realistically 2 difficult fixtures until the World Cup. So there is actually a good chance that we could go on a decent run from now to end the World Cup, because we only got Europa League, and the teams that we're facing, majority of them are on the bottom half of the league. I mean, I've got a fixtures up on
Chelsea away.
Yeah,
Chelsea away in November.
Chelsea away, yeah.
Which is a lot
Southampton,
now.
Leeds, Brighton, Wolves, and then
we've got Forest at home.
Southampton Forest at home. Yeah, Forest. Sorry,
we've got Leeds away.
Yeah, we've got Leeds away.
We've got Southampton away.
Southampton away, and then you got Forest at home, Chelsea away, Brighton at home, Wolves away.
Yeah, Brighton game's a cup game.
Yeah, Brighton game's Carabao Cup.
So
yeah, it is a cup game. I was just going through all the fixtures in
Wolves. Wolves are terrible at the moment,
except
as well.
the Europa League. So we've got a good chance to be top of the league before the World Cup. Surely.
One game at a time.
One game at a time. Leeds will be a tough game.
Realistic.
I don't think that won't be tough.
He's gone from one extreme to the other. Mr. Neg, and now he thinks we're going to win the league and everything. Oh, what?
If we listen, if we are to win all of those games and then go into the World Cup top of the league like that, if we was to win all those games,
there's a real possibility.
Incredible.
The way we are right now, Lee, you would say the way we are. I would say, yeah, we can. I don't see Chelsea away as being a major problem as it was in previous seasons. Still a good team, but the way we've been so far, I feel confident going to Stamford Bridge. No?
Yeah, depending on what players are available.
Yeah, obviously. Tom, what's your thoughts?
Look, we got the opportunity to have a great season. How we've started. Top 4 as we went out. Champions League qualification, as we said at the start of the season, is the bare minimum expectation for this team, as it should be. For me, every season it's the bare minimum of what Arsenal are looking at when they're at the top of their game. And we should be looking to try and get as close to that top spot as feasibly possible. City are a different animal. They are just an unbelievable side. Not only have they got great depth, they've got, an A and a B team that could probably both finish as close to top spot as possible. You've got added to that Erling Haaland, who just seems like a cheat code in the Premier League or any league for that matter. So it's going to be very difficult. But we don't have to win the games by 5 or 6-0 like City are. We just need to win the games. Just keep winning. If we're winning by the 1 or 2 goals, you're still picking up the same amount of points as City are for scoring more. Yes, the goal difference might matter at the end of the season, but if we're talking about goal difference being the difference between Arsenal and City, and bloody hell, how good are we? Because if that's the difference between Arsenal and City, if it's goal difference, that's mental. So, as long as we keep winning, I don't mind. It's going to be January's going to be key, though. Sorry, go on, Lev.
No, sorry, mate. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go on.
With all this discussion, a lot's going to also depend on what we do in the January window, in my opinion, because it's down to depth, right? There's rumors about or someone like that.
I agree, but I was talking to just before the World Cup. Because obviously after the World Cup, fixtures become different. Some players may come back injured, and you're spot on. If we want to have a serious charge from that point to end of the season, we need to learn from last season's January transfer window where we didn't sign a striker, and we need to make sure this year we covered on that front.
And let's be honest, we'll be a lot more appealing to players this season when they're looking at us the way we're playing. I think a lot more players will be open to come to us now. They're looking at a young, rejuvenated Arsenal that are really challenging now at the very top. Will we win the league? Probably not. Look, let's be honest. At the very start of the season, if someone said we're going to finish top 2, get into the Champions League and be back up those levels and be able to go and look at the top players, we all would have been happy. So I think if we keep our feet on the ground like that and just keep thinking that way, things could change very quickly for Arsenal. It could be a new rivalry, Arsenal City, like the old Arsenal Man United rivalry. I really think this team could go and rival them if we add some more depth to the squad.
Yeah. Lee, this applies to all three of you. If I asked you to mark the referee out of 10 yesterday, what would you give him?
2 for turning up. Shocking.
The ref.
Shocking. Yeah, I thought he was shocking. I thought he was I honestly thought he was very biased towards them at first. It was like, tackles. Their left back flew 3 times in at Saka, and he did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And I thought that he was. I didn't think he was very, very good at all. Like,
I'm surprised, Lee, you say that. I thought he was decent.
No, I thought he was poor. Like, you know what I mean?
To be fair, Lee did referee on Saturday, which means he's got a higher caliber of standards.
I did referee. Listen, I can tell you now, it's not easy.
What game did you ref? What game did you ref?
Did you not watch the Brighton game? He was there.
Oh my God! I see where you're going with this now. All right.
I did referee. I actually refereed the game Sunday. Like, I done our vets team. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy. But for me, I'm going to be really honest. I don't like Oliver. I think he's very, very. But then when that happens, and the penalty goes in, I thought, wow, that's it must have been a Stonewall penalty. I thought it was a little bit soft, if I'll be honest. I think it was a penalty, but you wouldn't like it if it was against you and all that. Like the handball, has been proved that it was the right decision. There was an offside. I don't understand the offside rule now. Like, you know what I mean? Núñez is offside and he chases down Gabriel, and he makes Gabriel make the kick. If he doesn't chase him down, then Gabriel doesn't slice that kick up. And I don't really understand all these rules no more, like, but I didn't think he was that great. I'll be honest, like, and I just want to say these people trying to saying that Martinelli with this tackle it's absolutely ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Spurs fans, isn't it?
It's never even. It weren't even. It was a cross. It's nothing, you know what I mean? What else could he do? You know what I mean? Like, it was just absolutely ridiculous, like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just thought he was a bit, You
want to stick with 2 or you want to revise that?
No, he's 6 out. He's about 6 out. I don't like Oliver. I don't like him. I'll tell you what, there was a couple of incidents there, right? And I'll be honest with you. Couldn't wait to send Xhaka off last season in the League Cup game. Couldn't wait to do it. Whether it was or whether it weren't, didn't even think about it. He let that left back kick Saka all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, and I think Saka now has got to start being a little bit more clever with it all, like, because he gets up straight away. He was moaning at the ref for a lot. You know, he needed a bit more protection, but you know. I suppose in the end of the day, the big decisions went our way. That don't happen very often with Oliver, let's be honest. But I don't like him. So there you go. Maybe I'm being biased.
Fair. Tom, what about you?
Oh, I thought he was good. That's just me, I suppose. I thought it was good. I thought that the big decisions were given right. I thought that the Gabriel handball instant is, you know, in live, I thought it was going to be given. I thought they were going to overturn it, but you know, the explanation of proximity, I think, is fair. You know, and when you think about it, if you're moving one way and you're moving, you know, in a sideways direction, crab-like, if you will, you know, and you go to change direction to stop, that arm does naturally come up. So even though it looks like it's in an unnatural position, it was in a natural position. So yeah, I thought that was fair. The only big call I think potentially got wrong is that watching it back, and I've watched it back a few times, I do feel as though Tsimikas deliberately elbows Jesus in the face.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah,
he's done it to Saka earlier on in the game as well. In the first half.
It seemed very deliberate, very Mane-esque.
Yeah, he looked it, didn't he? He looked.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know, I thought other than that, I thought he was good. just me, I guess.
Tom, do you think that penalty incident with Gabriel? Do you think if that was an Anfield, that would have been a penalty?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Lev,
yes.
I want to ask you this as well, because you're always very vocal about the refs. You see these two decisions, Gabriel handball and the penalty that we were given. Had the situation be the other way around, so we were given a penalty for the Gabriel handball, so Liverpool don't have a penalty, and we were not awarded one. Is this the sort of decision that people would have looked at and said, Arsenal are ref differently? Oh, look, this is a clear this, that, the other. It's never a handball, that sort of thing.
I'll be very honest. As an Arsenal fan, I thought the Gabriel one was going to be given as a penalty, 100%. The minute I saw it in slow-mo, I went, oh my God, they're going to give it. Because we're used to seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised that Arsenal got the penalty, the foul on Jesus. Or the letter of the law, as it stands, that's a penalty. Do I agree with it in the way the game is right now? Probably not in the grander scheme of, you know, of football and the way it should be. You can't say really that was a pen, but the way they've done it now, where if you're not going to get the ball and you catch your opponent, it's a foul, then that's a penalty. So I just think for the first time, things went our way a little bit yesterday. And that could be also because things are changing and we're a team in the ascendancy and people are starting to wax lyrical about us a little bit more. I don't know if that has helped along the way, but for the first time, things went our way yesterday. So I'm happy. I'll give him a 6 just for that.
You give him a 6. Do you also agree that had it been at Anfield, that would have been given as a penalty, the Gabriel one?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Because
of the fans and the crowd and
the
all
occasion.
That.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. Look, listen, I don't think it was a penalty. Straight as that.
No,
but
I
then
agree.
again,
I think it's
I'm
given,
going to say like maybe that because it was at the Emirates, maybe not, because I'll tell you what, there was a penalty at Newcastle which was given. You know, hostile crowd like at Newcastle, and that was given, and that weren't a penalty, by the way, neither. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, and. For me, I just think, you know, I looked at it. It comes off his, for a start, it comes off his chest and it's his arm. And if you're right that close anyway, what can you do? Even if your arm is up there, you can't get it.
I agree.
That's the only thing, to be honest, that I looked at in the replay and I was like, this is too close to the guy. You know,
that's what I didn't even know. I was at the game. I didn't even know that they was, you know, like looking at for a penalty. Like, you know, I didn't even see it. So, like, you know, if they'd have given it, you know what I mean, I would have been furious because it didn't, you know, I didn't even know, there was no indication that it was a penalty. So,
Our pen was definitely a pen,
on
by the
TV
way.
now. I've seen it on TV. I can see why it was. And can I just say it now? It was a half-hearted appeal from Jota as well. Wasn't really like going mad, was he? Like he sort of like put up his arm, like, but there wasn't no one going mad like how it's handball and all that, like, you know. So I don't know. For me, the rules have got to change with this handball and the offside thing as well. When I play football, it was simple. If it was deliberate handball, it's a penalty, like, you know. And if you're offside and you're interfering with play, you know. And I played actually football when you was offside when you wasn't interfering with play. They changed that rule, and why they've changed it to this rule now in second phase. And also, come on, guys, let's have a look at some of the handball decisions, you know, this week that they've looked at. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You know, like, I don't like Man United, but the Rashford one's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that one was a joke. I watched that one. I would have been so angry if that was me and it was given against me.
It's the rules, isn't it? Like, you know, they say if it touches your hand and then you're in control and you score, then it has to be ruled out. But I agree, you know, there are just it's subjective. It should be common sense. Like that moment where Gabriel it's kicked it in from a yard away. If they're going to start giving pens for that, then players are just going to try and kick balls up at people's hands. You know, that's all that's going to start happening to win penalties. And with our one, you know, I don't get what the debate is about our penalty. Like Gabriel gets to the ball first, Thiago kicks through the back of his foot. He goes, it's a pen. Like it's a foul anywhere else on the field. If you don't get the ball and you get the player and they go down, it's a penalty. It's as simple as that.
On that note, then, can I throw one in? When Jesus was challenging Van Dijk and Alisson came out, Jesus ran in the box, the ball was up in the air. They took out Jesus in the box. Didn't get anywhere near the ball.
Who took him out, Lev?
Alisson, the goalkeeper. Well, it was back end of the game. He's running through, ball's being hoofed up. It's bounced. I think Van Dijk and Alisson went through it. Jesus has come in, and Alisson took out. He took him out in the box.
Yeah,
he didn't get the ball. If that was on the field in the middle of the play, in the middle of the pitch, that's a free kick. No one even mentioned it.
Possibly. Look, just to round things out, everything is happy now around Arsenal. It's a better atmosphere in the ground. The fans are more united. People like myself were questioning what we were seeing at the time last season. This season is totally different. I mean, look, I don't have anything to question. I don't have anything to moan. And that's because I'm not seeing what I'm seeing last season. It's completely different. I even saw a tweet from Piers Morgan coming out saying, I see things different now and all of that.
I don't like him anyway.
And do you know what? I just want to say this. It's okay to criticize what you see last season and now say, I'm actually praising. It doesn't mean you're a flip-flop. None of that. It just means you're reacting to what you've seen. And right now, everything is positive. Everything is good. So there is no reason to moan or there's no reason to have a go at players. Lee, I know you need to go in a minute, so do you want to give us the final thoughts, and then us three will carry on until about a few more minutes.
Listen, it's fantastic when a manager or a team and that turn you around. You know what I mean? And that's what support is for. Like, you know, supporters do. You're allowed to be critical. You know what I mean? Like I've been critical, but when I've gone to the games for 90 minutes, I've cheered on the team. When I've come out and we've lost and and we've not put in a performance and we've not given 100%, I'm going to moan and whatever like that. But listen, me and Tom were in agreement with. We was on another show and the Man United game. We lost to Man United, but I've never moaned about it because you know what, we put in a bloody good performance. We worked really hard and all that. Like, you know, you can take things from that, and you know, the greatest thing of all, like, and I'm not comparing him to Alex Ferguson, but 90% of the Man United fans wanted Alex Ferguson out. In the end, they was all cheering his name and everything like that. That is what football's about. Getting opinions and turning them around. If you can do that, full credit to Arsenal Football Club, full credit to Edu, full credit to Mikel Arteta, and I've got to say full credit to the fans, because I tell you what, a lot of those fans believed, and a lot of those fans took on other fans and pushed them to back it. And at the moment, we're all getting the just rewards from it. Not just from winning games of football, guys. It's watching. I've sat there bored out of my nut last season or the season before watching that football. It was shocking to watch. It is a pleasure to go to the Emirates now. So fair play to everybody involved. Fair play.
Fair dues. Governor, thank you very much for coming. Thanks for your time.
Guys. Take care.
Thank you, Lee. Love you, man.
See you later, fella.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right. So, guys, we're going to go for another maybe 2 or 3 minutes. If you guys want to ask us any question, please put it on the comments so we can go through it and we can answer some of your questions. Obviously, subscribe to Arsenal Lounge, Gunner Talk TV, obviously, judges. Hit the like and let us know where you're watching from. Personally, I'm very keen to know where you guys are watching us from. Guys, it is right. It's difficult to mourn right now, right? Tom?
Oh, but it's not for some. Not for some. Mate.
It's hard, man. Listen. I was moaning out of you lot the most, right? And because what I was seeing last season, and some of the things that I was moaning and having a go at, you were in agreement with most of you. That this that, but this season, sometimes. It's like as if a switch has been flicked. It's a completely different team, different mentality. It's as if everybody has been injected some sort of a booster. So it's hard to moan. It's hard to say anything negative.
Good.
No?
This is one booster I'm happy to take. Shaheen, I've just had a little thought, and you guys in the chat and Tom. Obviously, we're doing this predictions thing, right? Now, obviously, Tom got it.
No,
right.
Lev, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I know where you're going with
because I got it right. Is that why?
I've got an idea.
Because I'm already bottom of this league.
Stop gaslighting me. Stop gaslighting me.
No.
What's wrong with you? So I've had an idea for a forfeit, and I'm gonna put it out in the chat. Shaheen's wearing a shirt at the moment. It's got no name on the back. 0. I'd like to put forward the forfeit that if Shaheen comes bottom, he needs to put Odegaard on the back of his shirt.
No,
let us know what
he
you
needs
think.
to put Arteta in on the back.
Ooh, Arteta
No,
in or Odegaard. Let us know.
No, it's not fair because we already.
No, it's not fair. It wasn't fair that I had to pay 200 quid, but I still did it.
No, in preparation for me losing, I've already got
£200.
Odegaard on the back, so
I
I'm sorted.
I didn't highlight you about the forfeit.
I'll happily pay the £200, and I'll
People
take you
saying
guys
Odegaard.
We already been through some of this prediction thing already. Had you said that at the beginning of it, I would have said, okay,
Did I bitch like you when you said I had to pay £200 for a meal? Did I? Did I?
That's different, bro.
No, it's not different.
No, it is.
We leave it to the fans. We leave it to the fans.
Regardless,
that's a really
Let's go through some of the questions.
Fans.
Tom, what is Kieran thinking about being benched despite no Zinchenko?
If he's annoyed about it, then he can be annoyed about it. I think that the decision to play Tomiyasu was clearly proven to be the right one. I think I'd play Tierney if Zinchenko's not fit against Leeds. It was a tactical decision to go up against Salah in games that we're going to have more of the ball and are expected to be more dominant. Tierney comes back in. If he's annoyed about it or if he's frustrated about it, good. I don't want players happy that they're not playing. I want them to be motivated to play the next game. So it's as easy and simple as that.
Good answer.
Lev, if Xhaka wins the league with us, is he an Arsenal legend?
I think any team that wins the league, that team is basically in the history books, isn't it? Let's be honest, right? If we win the league with Man City at the top, you got to say that's some achievement. So the whole team would be legends. So yeah, I guess yeah.
Do you know what? I forgot to discuss something with you guys, and I just saw something put it in the chat. What's going on with this Aubameyang comments?
Ooh, good finish to the yeah. Go on.
Have you seen his tweet today?
Yeah, he kind of backtracked on it. Oh, I didn't know this was when I left Barcelona, this and that. What's your thoughts on it? Listen, I can see where he's coming from, but I'm not sure what that is being put out to achieve what. I don't know. If that's your opinion, keep it to yourself. He said he didn't. This is when he left Arsenal and he was very angry and he was very frustrated. Is the word. So he was saying this. That's fair enough. That's fair play to you for saying that. But the timing of that being released is something I don't understand why it even was released. So that's my thoughts on it. What about you guys?
Lev, do you want to go first?
Whoever released it clearly has had it for a while. They probably didn't release it while he was at Barcelona because they're connected to it somehow. The minute he's left Barcelona, that's when they've released it. So it's not affecting their situation. Now, I get it that he was pissed off, but then at the same time, you're a professional. You know, like you must know that whatever you say, someone can record it. I don't think it looked like it was secretly recorded. So why do it? I don't understand. And it smacked off somebody that's been sacked and then finding an excuse as to why they've been sacked. It's because he can't handle big players. Well, I'm not being funny. You as the captain, you're on 350 grand a week. You can't even turn up on time, and you should be leading by example because there's a load of youngsters there. So if you're an older senior player and you're acting that way, then I guess he deserved what he got. And if that means Arteta's got to get players in that will listen to him to play this way, then fair play to Arteta.
Tom?
It adds a lot of spice to the Chelsea game because now I think a lot of the Arsenal fans are pissed at him.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see kind of the reception he gets when we play him at the Emirates, if he plays, because he didn't start their last game and they probably played.
Tom, do you think he should get booed?
I'm not really a big fan of booing. You know, I think it's a bit.
No, but do you think he should? I know I don't see you as someone who would boo.
I know I don't think he should get booed. No, but
I agree with you because he did a lot for us. Let's have
if fans want to boo, that's their right. They're entitled to do that.
Course.
You know, if they want to do it.
If I was at the ground, I would not boo him.
Yeah, no, neither would I. I think I'd boo any player. I wouldn't have booed Nasri. You know, I'm just not a person who boos people. You know, but if you want to boo people, go and do it. It's your prerogative. You pay your money, you go. But you know, the thing that annoys me the most I think it's more like it frustrates me because of the hypocrisy of it. When he said about, you know, big characters, he used the word big character. He said he can't manage big characters. It seems like this word big character is just used to excuse people that are disruptive in a dressing room. That's just how it feels to me. It's just like, if you're disruptive or if you're not doing necessarily what the manager wants, or if he's setting these principles, you know, Shaheen, you said like this season, it feels like a switch has flipped with the mentality. Well, I don't necessarily think it's a switch being flipped. I think we've built the mentality to this point over a period of time. But I certainly think one of the steps along the journey of getting the mentality to where it is and getting kind of the mindset to where it is now is by getting rid of players like Aubameyang, by getting rid of players like Ozil. You know, that's not to discredit their individual quality. But if we want to build a team that is united and is all thinking on the same, you know, all singing from the same hymn sheet, is buying into what the manager wants, then that's what you need. And then you have to get rid of the players that aren't, you know, of that ilk. Am I ever going to forget that he helped win us an FA Cup? It was a massive part of that, along with the rest of his teammates and, of course, the manager that helped him do it as well. Massive part of that. But Arsenal had to move on from Aubameyang. You know, he scored goals at Barcelona since he's left. He's scored goals at Chelsea now. He's not a bad player. That's not what the discussion is about. But Arsenal are better off without him and have now got a better striker for Arsenal in Gabriel Jesus. It needed to happen, but I get frustrated when the whole big character thing, someone who can't... Oh, I'm sorry. If you're telling me that Granit Xhaka is not a big character, you know, this. Trust me, I've been in a room with the guy. He's intimidating as shit. Like, you know, he's a big character. He really is. And Arteta has turned that man's career around at Arsenal. So I don't think it's a case of not being able to handle big personalities or big characters, but it does seem a little bit like an excuse just to be disruptive, which we don't need, and we're better off with that.
Shaheen, I think the problem was with Aubameyang. He's a great goal scorer, but not the best of footballers. And I think we needed more energy and somebody that gets more involved with the all-round play. And Ubi just didn't fit the way we wanted to play, and it's it. Simple as. Just move on.
Yeah. Guys, we've been doing this for about an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for giving us your time, watching us. Please hit the like, subscribe to Arsenal Lounge, subscribe to the Guna Talk TV, and let us know where you're watching us from. Tom, it's a pleasure having you on, as always. Obviously, always enjoy having you on the Mondays and any show that we do together. Final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, boys. As always, pleasure. Yeah, I'm just buzzing with where Arsenal are at. I'm enjoying it as an Arsenal fan. That's the best thing right now, is that it's joyous to be an Arsenal fan right now. It feels great. You know, I was a bit emotional after the game on Sunday. because it just felt like so many years of frustration are starting to build towards something I can tangibly really get excited about. And I'm looking forward to the next one, which is Thursday against Budaglimt, which could be fun. So let's see. Wow.
I mean, look, I'm actually quite surprised. A lot of people calling for predictions for the Leeds game, which we forgot to do.
No, you forgot to do it.
Yeah. Is it now? Me now? Is it all me now, Lev?
Tom, you got it right this week, mate. You well done.
You got it right.
I'm
We're
on
gonna have to
15
wait for
points
more.
now.
We're gonna have to wait for more to come back to get an updated league table. But
what was Mo's prediction for Liverpool?
Mo was 2-0
4-2.
2-1. I think he went 2-1.
Something like that. I'm going to ask him for his prediction on the chat. But
so what's your prediction then?
No, you go first.
Oh yeah, I'm talking. I'll go first. Leeds. Is it home or away?
Away.
2-0 Arsenal. There you go.
I'm above you, aren't I, Shaheen? So
we're all above Shaheen. Shaheen, it's your turn this season, man.
I'm gonna go. What did you go with, Lev? 2-1.
2-0.
2-0. I'm gonna go 3-0 Arsenal.
No conceding, eh?
No.
I'll go 3-1 Arsenal.
It's about time. Soon, we're gonna keep a clean sheet soon.
And we'll ask Mo what his prediction is, and we'll go with, accordingly. Lev, your final thoughts?
My final thoughts is as follows. I'm thoroughly enjoying this season. I'm thoroughly enjoying my team. It's a team I recognise. The way we're playing football is the Arsenal I recognise, and that's a great start. I'm loving the spirit. I'm loving the fans' togetherness even more so. The people going to the ground, you know, all the fans cheering, all the songs. It's just a pleasure to be an Arsenal fan like right now. So let's, keep it up. Long may it continue. Get behind the club. Get behind, everybody involved. And, let's just hope this carries on and we keep doing shows like this. There you go.
I will leave it at that on a positive note. Thank you very much for watching us. Have a wonderful evening. Soon.